I'm Daniel Xerri, and I'm the member on TELT's advisory board responsible for research and insight.
So Daniel, it's an opportunity for us to welcome you to the TELT advisory board. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role on the advisory board?
So I am the member on the advisory board responsible for research and insight, and this is very much aligned with my own academic role. I'm an associate professor in applied linguistics and TESOL. I'm also someone who conducts a lot of research, not only in my country, Malta, but in other contexts around the world. Most of this research is in collaboration with language teachers. I also conduct research for organizations and for governments in terms of my role as a consultant, enabling to bring about change in educational systems worldwide.
I know you've written about encouraging teachers to engage with research as well as doing their own research.
Yeah. So we distinguish between engaging with research in terms of reading research, attending conference presentations about research, but from engaging in research. Engaging in research is ultimately about doing it in your own context, in your own classroom, with your own learners, and doing it as a means of finding answers to the questions that you have as an educator. So both aspects of classroom research are very important. Both your own awareness of what's happening more broadly, but also your ability to ultimately find those answers to the questions or the puzzles that you might have as an educator.
So it's learning through practical inquiry to improve the conditions of the context that you're working in.
Yeah, and to develop professionally as well as to provide your learners with a better learning context and learning outcomes.
I know that one of the key words that's used in descriptions of classroom research, action research, is problematize, which perhaps for some people not involved in it carries a kind of negative connotation. Can you say something about that, about the way teachers identify their research objectives?
Yes, problematizing our practices is very important because much of what we do as educators is driven by our own beliefs about language teaching and learning. So research enables us to ultimately think about why we're doing certain things and the impact of the decisions that we take in the classroom. So when we problematize our thinking about our practices, that helps us to ultimately develop the insights that we need to bring about change in the classroom. And this is not only beneficial for us as educators, because it is a form of professional development, but is also beneficial for our learners. So the outcomes of classroom research are not only suitable for us as the people conducting research, but also highly beneficial for our learners and for the entire school ecosystem that we form part of.
I'm interested to hear you talking about the outcomes of the research, because it suggests that your concern with research isn't purely as a thing in itself, but how it leads to development, improvement in teachers' practice.
I don't see research only as an academic exercise, something that will lead to a publication or to more prestige as an academic. But I see it as something very, very useful in enabling us to bring about change in language education. And that is why I enjoy collaborating with educators from around the world, helping them to ultimately use it as part of the tool set to develop insights into what's happening in the complex language classroom that they form part of. I also enjoy doing research as a means of ultimately helping organizations, governments to bring about change within the broader educational system.
For us as an organization, that's certainly going to be a really significant role. Thank you very much, Daniel.